Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to AS Roma Theory. It's the press conference day. Mourinho spoke like, I'd say 3 hours ago. The team is now departing. I mean, they probably just arrived because, as I said before, Udinese are the most nordist team in the Italian league. So it takes quite a lot of time to get there. So they're there. And today we'll analyze what Mourinho said. Because, he has the same feelings as we have, which aren't very hard to predict, but this unbeaten run needs to continue. This momentum needs to continue. This journey needs to continue. And another thing which I mentioned, which you will see Mourinho mention as well, is that tomorrow's away game is a tough away game. It's always been a hard away game. So this is indeed what Mourinho said. So without further ado, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and the first question is actually this. There are 5 injured players. All the other players are available. Is Camara ready to play? And the second curiosity, the farewell of Serena Williams. What did she represent for you in the sport and on a social level? Sportsmen like Serena, in this case in tennis, are eternal. From generation to generation, these people do not get forgotten. What she did is unforgettable. Camara does not have 90 minutes physically and technically, so he will not start tomorrow's match. He has shown his quality in training sessions, and even a positive surprise for some players who did not follow the Greek championship. Surprise for them, not for us who studied his style of play before buying him. At the moment, however, he will be on the bench. Tomorrow is a very difficult match. The team knows how to play and how to compete. They are an intelligent team. They're they can hurt in counterattacks. They're a crafty team. They know how to manage the timing of the match as they want. El Shaarawy and Kumbula are not there. Dybala is totally fine. So, first of all, massive farewell to Serena Williams as well, who announced her retirement yesterday night. So, massive. She, as Mourinho said, she's the GOAT of the world of sports. But focusing on tomorrow's match. Now, the first question, which was kind of, one of our question marks yesterday in the match preview was, do we start Matic and Cristante again, or do we potentially put Camara in? And we basically already have an answer. The answer is Camara's not ready to play. Camara will be sitting on the bench. Now, something interesting, which I think, this is done spontaneously. And it's done deliberately to... let me explain this. When Mourinho says he was a positive surprise for some players who did not follow the Greek championship. Because... he said this, and that isn't necessarily what happened in training sessions. But Mourinho wanted to say this because he thinks it in the same way as I think it. And I already said this. We bought Mady Camara as a replacement for Gini Wijnaldum. And obviously, right now, I'm not saying Camara cannot become what Gini was at Liverpool, because Camara is still very young. But right now, Gini Wijnaldum, is a better player than Camara, even though Camara can be even better than Gini. That's, I'm not here to undermine him, but right now, Gini's got more experience. Gini's got more talent than him. But, Mourinho's done this deliberately because, okay, yes, he might not be on the same levels as Gini, but the players already have a positive impact on him. And they got surprised by him. Because everyone thinks, oh yeah, he comes from the Greek league, he's not that amazing, and all of that. So I think this is definitely a deliberate effect done by him to already create a good vibe around Camara. But Camara tomorrow won't start. He will be sitting on the bench, confirmed by the boss. And then he talked about the match. And he talked about how it's a difficult match and how we need to be careful on counterattacks because I don't think they're a fast team necessarily, but they're definitely a good team when it comes to counterattacks. So that is something which we need to be very careful about. And he wanted to say this, and then another thing is, how are the players? We have Genie injured, Nico injured, we have Darboe injured, we have Kumbula injured, and El Sharawi injured. Is there anyone else potentially with a question mark around? There was a question about Dybala, because some people thought Dybala got injured against Monza, but Mourinho said no, absolutely not. Dybala's ready for tomorrow. Dybala's okay. And I think I'd like to say this. I think Dybala will start tomorrow 100%, as we predicted yesterday. I don't think Dybala will start on Thursday. And I don't think Tammy will start on Thursday as well. I'm not trying to put the Bulgarian match on Thursday on a lower level just because we're playing against the Bulgarian side. But I think it's way more important for Tammy and Dybala to start tomorrow than starting against the Bulgarian side, because I think Belotti can play really well against that side, and I think we could potentially win that match even without Dybala's creativity in the midfielder. So I think Dybala will rest on Thursday, but he will start tomorrow. And yeah, everyone's fine. Let's not jinx it. The last time he got asked this, he said everyone's fine, and then 1 hour later, Genie got injured. Hopefully no one gets injured now. I don't think they'll train this afternoon because they are on their way to the destination. So, right, second question is kind of about energies, and this is definitely a big topic. As I said, I'm going to say again, with the World Cup in the winter. And this is I think this is a good question, right? Because the question is, how much does playing the European Cups feel compared to those teams who don't play them? And this is a question which is foreshadowing Atalanta 100%. 1-0 Inter Milan. Thank you very much, Logical. Let me change the score. It should be Milan-Inter. Please don't let me change it. It's not the end of the world. But it is. Milan are playing at home technically, but I did put Inter in front. So please don't criticize me for that. I'm a human as well. Right. So I think... What was I saying? This question is definitely foreshadowing Atalanta, because everyone right now is looking at Atalanta, who do not have European Cups to focus about, and therefore, they're playing really well in this area right now. Again, just like us, they haven't faced very difficult opponents, apart from Milan, where they bagged the draw. But this is definitely a question foreshadowing them, because us and Atalanta are currently top of the table. So the question, Mourinho's response is, it's more difficult, obviously. When you play a lot, you have little time to train. You have to be very precise. You can't work on everything. When you only play one game, the story is completely different. But luckily, I have been playing European competitions for over 20 years, and I have this big problem. When you have a team with 2 players per position, it's easier, but it's stimulating, and as a team, we go forward. It will be tough tomorrow against Udinese. Atalanta will only play 1 match before our match against them, and we will play 2. But I'm sure Gasperini and the boys preferred to play in the Europa League too, even though they know that it was more difficult to restrain energies. So yeah, this question didn't mention Atalanta, but there you go. Mourinho gave you a response foreshadowing Atalanta. Because right now, you see, you look at Roma and Atalanta, which right now, after 5 game weeks, are top of the league, doesn't mean absolutely anything to me. But you look at the team, you look at the table, and Roma, Atalanta are top. So, definitely, you're like, hang on a minute. That means Atalanta will be a big threat this season, because, they don't have anything to concentrate on rather than the Serie A. That's what they're going to concentrate on, and that's their only single objective. And that can be a problem. Don't get me wrong. As I mentioned in my predictions for the Serie A earlier, like 2 months ago, I have a feeling that the Gasperini cycle is coming to an end. Don't get me wrong. They're still playing well. But I need to see, just like I need to see Roma before actually giving a good comment about them. I need to see Roma play against big teams and how they deal the pressure with these teams before giving a general comment. And that, this discussion is the same as Atalanta. Atalanta's great, but you see, the one match they played against the top team, they didn't win. They've had a similar calendar to us in a way that they've grabbed the points against clubs which they had to get points from, and that's exactly what we did. But the second they played against the top team, they didn't win, and exactly like us, who played against Juventus and didn't win. So it's definitely early to look at the table, but Atalanta do have only the Serie to concentrate on, and I do think the Gasperini cycle is coming to an end. If it's not over yet, I do think it's coming to an end. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool are a great team, but I suspect that, I'm not saying this year, and I'm not potentially even saying next year, but I don't think Klopp will remain as a Liverpool manager more than 2 years. Because teams, after a while, need a change. And Atalanta have been managed by Gasperini for at least 7 years now. The players need new fresh air, and the players have always been them. So I do think, I have a suspect which it is coming to an end, but Atalanta are performing really well, so I will not, downgrade them like this, because they are top of the table. But it is difficult. It's harder for us, for sure. Just to give you, a perspective, we're playing Udinese away tomorrow. We're going in Bulgaria on Thursday. We're going to Empoli next Monday. Then we're back at the Olimpico for Atalanta. Then we're going to Milan. You see, it's a travel diary, but it's better than us. And as he said, I'm sure that Gasperini and the boys prefer to play in the Europa League. Yes, the more competitions we're in, the harder it is, but the more ambitious the season is. And then he kind of said to himself, don't you worry, it's going to be tough for our energies, but I have the experience for these European competitions, as he said. But luckily, I have been playing European competitions for over 20 years. So Mourinho knows how to deal with these lack of energies. And then the last question is, I think, it's so just, why would you even ask this right now? Okay, I get the point, but it's such a random question. You cannot look at the table after 5 game weeks. The question is it already significant being first after 4 game weeks? That is the most useless question ever. Because what do you expect the manager to say? Oh yeah, after 4 weeks I'm first, that means I'm going to win the league. No, he's not going to say that. So this is complete waste of time, because it's good to grab points, and it's good to see us, it's good to see Roma top of the league for a night, and it's been a week now, but the season just started. And we played, 4 out of 5 matches against newly promoted sides. So there needs to be more glances to the table rather than just seeing it after 4 game weeks. But Mourinho's answer it's a duh answer. So he said, no, absolutely not. We just played 4 or 5 games. If you look at the games that one team or another has had, you could say that maybe some have been simpler. It's way too early. The points you score are important, but I don't look at the table. We go on game after game trying to always win. And 1-1. Logical is a legend. Thank you for the updates. And yeah. So this is exactly how Mourinho had to answer this. AKA, fuck the table. It's good to see us top. Don't get me wrong, I'd love for us to stay top for this game week coming ahead of us. But the season just started. And as much as it's great to see Roma written next to the number 1, we've got a long way to go. And the only thing to focus on right now is step by step. And this is an example that I've been saying to OG subscribers last season. You need to just imagine the season as a ladder. And every match is a step. And if the objective is for you to climb this ladder, and you go step by step. If we climb this ladder 2-3 steps at a time, Eventually, we will risk our own lives because we could fall backwards and break our backs. What a metaphor. What a metaphor. That's just, you see, poetry lessons in AS Roma theory live streams as well. You see, we can't climb a ladder going 2-3 steps at a time. One step at a time. We've got Udinese tomorrow. If anyone thinks about Europa League match on Thursday, that automatically means to me that you're not concentrated. The concentration needs to shift day by day on new objectives every day. Udinese is our objective this weekend. It's a tough game week, as I always said. It's a tough match. It's a dark match. Udinese can hurt us. They know how to hurt us. Last season we didn't win at their own ground. So, and Mourinho knows this. So, objective right now is to keep this unbeaten run. And, yeah, Leao scored. Leao is such a good player, man. Oh, you look at Leao and you're like, wow. But yeah, a draw would be amazing. You know, a draw would be amazing between Inter and Milan. Plus, Juventus drew. Juventus are so bad. We could have easily won that match against Juventus with a bit more concentration and a bit less pressure on our shoulders. Juventus are the most hyped team in the league. They bought Paredes, who in the first match he played, gifted a penalty to Fiorentina. Yes, Jovic did miss that penalty. You know, they bought Di Maria, who plays a match and then gets injured every time. Did he get injured again? I'm not sure if he got injured again, but still, he is definitely on poor form. Juventus have a manager which cannot get these players to play well. But it's a good. I hoped Fiorentina could have won that, but I'll take the draw. Hopefully, the derby now ends as a draw, and Lazio. I'd love to see Lazio get battered tonight. I won't lie, but I'll take a draw as well. Definitely not Lazio win. But yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this Mourinho press conference analysis, I know the Roma official YouTube channel don't put subtitles on Mourinho's press conferences. So if you're wondering, where do I get an English version? You know where to come. So share the link of this channel with your families and friends, and also don't forget to smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, follow me on Instagram over there in the orange box, or it's Simon_ASO_. And yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow for the live watch along. So you do not want to miss it. You do not want to miss it. As I always say, wherever you're from, figure the timing out and come back here. Let's keep this unbeaten streak going. I'll catch you soon.